Hello everyone and welcome to CSCI210 Introduction to Computers Through Robotics. This sticker used to be fairly common during World War II as due to gas and tire ration. You may have asked your same question yourself when you loaded up your car to come here or this morning when the alarm went on. I will talk about this question related to CSU and for my particular course itself. Okay, as I said, it applies to World War II. Does it apply to college? Well, let's see. Okay, is this trip really necessary to talk about in the case of coming to Charleston Southern University? And in fact, CSU is a Christian liberal arts university. I'll break down what that means. And one of the things I will say is in IT we had the comment of get your certs. The idea was training was important, but education it really wasn't that important anymore. Well, the problem with that is that there was this glass ceiling that if you did not have a degree, no matter how smart you were, you just couldn't seem to rise above. And one of the problems is that certification doesn't teach you how to write. CSU, being a liberal arts university, has a liberal arts core, and part of that is the freshman composition class that everybody loves so well. Well, it turns out that in my entire working career, that is the skill that I've used the most is writing, and that has made the difference with a lot of my colleagues' careers. This is a quote from All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. Robert Fulghum, he wrote this some years ago, but the idea is that in kindergarten you learned some and you thought some and you drew and you painted and you sang and danced and played and worked every day some. You know, some of those I enjoyed, some of them I didn't. Some like singing I enjoyed, but people around me maybe didn't. Well, the idea of a liberal arts core is you learn a little bit about everything to make you a well-rounded individual. Another thing is, since CSU is a Christian liberal arts university, we explicitly talk about ethics. Ethics has got a unique role in the workplace in that ethics can get you fired just about as quickly as anything else in the workplace. And you know, when you come back to the university, whether you're coming back to it after time in the workforce or you're pausing here on your entry into workforce, now is a good time to think about why am I doing things and what motivates me. Okay, now we'll talk about this course in particular. This course is Introduction to Computers Through Robotics. Your first reaction may be, okay, Boomer, why do I need to know about computers? I can tell some of y'all still don't know about computers, and that's probably true. Well, what I would submit is that you know about the product of computers. You use computer products all your life. You may not be as familiar with the process. And, well, if I'm not a programmer, do I need to know about the process? Well, everybody needs to know about the process of IT. Obviously, the programmer does. Well, his manager knows it and needs to understand it, so he knows that the magic just doesn't happen. The programmers have to take some time. They have to test things out. They have to experiment. They have to update. And as a customer, you'd need to understand it because you'd have to understand the product life cycle when you have a new upgrade come out. This university just upgraded to Blackboard Ultra, and I heard about it and I got in on the group that's pioneering it, because when you have a major upgrade, I know from my experience as a programmer that it takes a lot of doing that. There can be a lot of good out of it, there can be some evil out of it too if you don't plan accordingly. Okay, why through robotics? Robotics, you got a thing there. You got something that, you know, you might not know whether you've completely initialized an 8x10 array with the Fibonacci series, but you can look at the robot and tell whether or not you may manage to turn the lights red on it or not. So it's very hands-on. There are some lessons with robotics that you would miss if you were only just doing software. For example, loose bolt. You have bolts that hold your motors on. You need to make sure they stay cut tight. Otherwise, you're going to say, Mr. O'Neill, why is my robot acting crazy? Well, the robot programming is okay. It's just got a loose bolt and the motors are wandering all over the place. The other things you'll hear me talk about, batteries not included. That used to be a cliche when I was young. We used to have the old lead acid batteries, and if you kept the batteries too long in a radio or something, they leaked and they ruined it. That's not quite as common now, but you will find out with these robots, they did not include the batteries for the robot, nor did they include it for the remote. So the lesson here is that there is limitations to technology, and that's important to understand. Well, what if you tell me, what if I don't like programming? Well, you know, we are God's workmanship, and we are created with certain abilities, and we're created with certain desires, and if it doesn't happen to be one of yours, that's God's plan for you, and I respect that. There are some things to be learned, even if you never see another program again. And maybe in a program, I'll need a whole nother slide to tell you that. That's why I say next page. Oh, by the way, this next one's the last one, just so be of good cheer. Okay, what can you get out of this course? Okay, first of all, you can learn how to program, and that I call that level 3. That's the lowest of 3 levels. And if I teach you something about programming, that's great. If you go on to be a programmer, this course will certainly help you. You'll learn about the product. You'll learn what a program is, and more importantly, you'll learn how it's produced and how it's maintained. The other neat thing I can show you about is I can show you some things about technology in the workplace. Most important one being the IT product cycle, that this technology just doesn't happen and you don't just get it right out of the box and everything's automatically hunky-dory, cool and groovy. For example, we have a upgrade to Ultra, and there's going to be a learning curve as we learn the new system, and there will be some things that it does that the old program doesn't do, and some things the old program does that it doesn't do, and we just have to work through it. You'll also learn about IT limitations. For example, your sensors, you'll have an ultrasonic sensor, kind of like a bat sonar on your robot. It does not work under 2 centimeters. By the way, that's one of my favorite test questions. Just saying. We'll also talk about a little bit about ethics in IT, that thinking about how computers have changed the ethical decisions, the values-based decisions that we need to make in life. Okay, the level 1, because this is the highest level, is if I can teach you something about using technology in life, I will consider myself a success, and you, not necessarily in that order. Okay, first of all, I said batteries not included. Not only are batteries not included, the other thing you'll find out about your robots is after about a month or so of working with them, all of a sudden they're going to just act stupid. They're going to not respond to stimulus, and the programs aren't going to run. You're going to say, Mr. O'Neill, there's something wrong with my robot. The first thing I'm going to tell you is check the voltage on the batteries. Because what happens is the battery voltage gets low, the computer, which runs on voltage, just doesn't work well. And what does this have to do with technology in life? Not only is this true for your robot, this is true for your car. So if your battery runs down or it doesn't work well, or your alternator doesn't work well, it shows up as computer problems. Now, if you have an unscrupulous car dealer, he will be glad to charge you $2,000 to replace your computer, and because he's a good guy, he'll throw a new battery in, where in fact it was the battery that was causing the problem to start with. Other applications in life will be what I call the IKEA factor. I'm trying to get myself in somewhat of shape, so I bought a home gym. It came to me in 7 boxes. Well, the first thing I did was I said, I don't want to mess with this, so I'm going to have somebody put it together for me. They wanted to charge me $560, and they changed the appointment 2 or 3 times, and I said, well, if it's going to be this much hassle, I just will do it myself. It took me a couple of days, but I got it together, and I saved myself $560. So I hope this clarifies where this course fits in our progression toward helping you find out what God has in store for you. Thank you.